All right, my beautiful friends, here we are. Here we are together again at last. It is Sunday, November 1st, 2020. Before you even get started, can you believe it's November 1st? Time is just flying, and I find it just kind of shocking that this year is almost over. All right, look, it goes without saying that this week coming up is going to be epic, absolutely epic for the market. And, an opportunity here as well for we, the people. We'll talk more about that in a moment here. So let's cover these markets just real quick. We're talking about extreme volatility over the last 2 weeks, especially last week. I explained to you we would see this, but I'm going to be honest with you. This volatility has been a little out there. We got not just the election here, but we have the issues with Europe going on here, the world shutting down, reported skyrocketing cases of coronavirus here in the United States. And this is obviously weighing on the markets. And, this stock market may be repricing in a President Trump win here. And that's another reason why we're seeing this market go crazy. For months, it was pricing in a Biden win. Now the market's like, hold on a minute now, we might have got this wrong. And it might be repricing in a Trump win. The market doesn't like not knowing what's happening here. After the election, no matter who wins, we're going to talk more about that. Things are going to change. Let's talk about a couple of other assets here. The most important of them all is the debt market. The debt market as a whole is sending us a big, big signal. I mean, we have the 10-year yield at 0.88, just about 0.879. What does this tell us? This tells us that a large, vast amount of capital has now come out of the debt market. Now we've seen the dollar get stronger. So again, let's put that together for those of you that don't understand how this works. It's kind of complicated. It really is. So people, for some reason, or investors or whoever they may be, always seek safety in the US dollar. They believe that holding dollars is a safe bet. Well, it's been a safe bet for a very, very long time, despite the fact that the dollar has been under pressure lately. And we got major banks betting against the dollar. No secret here. Okay, despite the fact that we have exploding debt, exploding deficits, a Federal Reserve who JP Morgan just said last week is preparing to unleash more quantitative easing. But again, the knee jerk is always into the dollar, into the dollar. So we've seen dollar strength, okay, with cash leaving the debt market. This cash, generally, when it leaves the debt market, just looks for somewhere to go. But we're watching more or less a holding pattern occur. You understand? So we have a vast amount of capital that is going to do something, and is going to do it this week. So we have to outline three scenarios. Two of which are not good for the stock market. One is good for the stock market. So again, we do need to talk. Bitcoin, by the way, broke 14,000 over the weekend. It has since pulled back. But again, cryptocurrencies, in my view, have not even begun to move higher. We're going to see numbers with regard to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin that are going to shock people. Last time we topped out with Bitcoin around 18,000, I told everyone to dump it. I got ridiculed and laughed at. You remember all that? Well, it turned out to be one of the best calls I ever made. But I do believe we will surpass 18,000 by a large margin with regard to Bitcoin moving forward here. With regard to gold and silver, people, you know my take on this, and it will never change. It will never change in this environment of ballooning debt, ballooning deficits, the promise of trillions of more dollars being created out of thin air for some kind of a bailout slash stimulus package, which has nothing to do with helping the middle class. That $1,200 carrot that they're holding in front of your face. No, it's about debt expansion. It's about another hit of drugs for the market. That's what it's really about. The market right now is 100% dependent on debt acquisition. That's it. Nothing else. Again, despite what we've seen in the market recently, these incredible gyrations, a couple of big sell-offs last week, we're not too far off from all-time record highs. The economy in free fall. We have nowhere to go but down. Manufacturing falling off of a cliff here. Look, our economy here in the United States, unless you live under a rock or are buying the fake news propaganda, we are in dire shape. All by design. This is not by accident. This is a deliberate act to allow the Federal Reserve to fulfill its end game, to be the lender and buyer of last resort so they can own it all. And if that means they got to destroy the middle class because they want to create a two-tier society, like I've explained to you since time immemorial, a decade, I have explained that we are in the midst of a two-tier society. And today, it is very evident that that's where we are going here. Anyway, that's been part of the grand plan here since 1913, the creation of the Federal Reserve, which is a criminal cartel of the highest order, of the highest possible order. That's the truth. I think you get that here. But again, understanding that the Federal Reserve is a criminal organization, a criminal cartel of the highest possible order, understanding what their end game is here, to inflate and to buy it all. Well, what do? You bet against the debt. You become your own central bank. You hold hard assets and you hold cryptocurrencies. I don't know another way that I can think of to be betting against this monster, this debt bubble monster, which is going to rear its ugly head on everyone at one time. When? I don't know, and I don't really care. But let's go back to the here and now. It's very important. So again, like I explained to you, people, we have a lot of cash that has come out of the debt market. It's simply looking for a place to go. The cash that people are hoarding cash right now, investors. That's why you've seen the dollar, this knee-jerk reaction. Dollar's gotten stronger lately. Stock market negative. But the rising 10-year yield right now in this environment, you would imagine this would be stock market positive, and it is. That cash has not made its way into the stock market. Now let's go over a few scenarios here. This is really, really important. All right. Obviously, we have this election coming up here on Tuesday. 3 scenarios here, people. 3. Number 1, we have a clean election. There is a clear winner. The election is not contested. If that happens, if we get a clear winner here, whether it's President Trump or former Vice President Biden, the market don't care. The market just wants to know who the next president is going to be. We will get a relief rally. I see the chances of getting a substantial relief rally if we get a clean election, okay, is better than 90%. So you would expect that cash that has left the debt market to make its way into the stock market, and we're going to get a big move higher. Okay, and that could last. That rally could last several days. Could be profound. Now, let's put a couple of other scenarios together. That's the best case. Again, market doesn't care who wins. Market just wants to know who will be the next president, so there is certainty. The arch enemy of the stock market is uncertainty. The market realizes who the next president is going to be, we're going to get a rally. It's going to be a big one. I would say, like I said, the odds are very high. Scenario number 2. We don't have a clear winner. We have to wait several days to figure out who's winning or whatever. The market won't like that. The market won't like it. The market is going to respond in a negative way. You're going to see extreme volatility, just like last week. So be prepared for that. The worst case scenario for this market, okay, and for you and your investments, is if we have a contested election. If we have a contested election and this drags out, stocks are going to get slammed. Slammed. Now, for my lions out here, all right. I posted several times in my free newsletter, there's a link in the description of this video, a way to hedge your positions. Very simple. Now, look, you do what you want here, and I try to give you my best take on everything. The reason why I put that out should be obvious. If you're concerned about your positions moving into the election here, again, we have one scenario, 1 out of 3, where this market is going to make a big move higher. 2, where this market's going to suffer here. So you might want to think about hedging your positions like I outlined for you. It could not be easier the way I explained how to hedge your positions. This gives you the high ground too. You have to understand you always have to have that high ground. Always. So with that said, I would advise you, but again, you do what you want. I'm just sitting here telling you my best take. Hedge those positions coming tomorrow, unless you strongly believe that we're going to have a clean election, that there's going to be a clear winner here, and you're 100% certain of it. I mean, then of course you don't need to do it. But me personally, I like to have the upper hand. I like to kind of put myself in a position where if the market goes against me, and we've seen what happened last week, you're in a good spot. It's important to always think that way. Think ahead. You understand? Now, look, people, again, with regard to this election, you and me, okay, have an amazing opportunity here. An amazing opportunity. An opportunity to unite. And I want all of us to do that. If your candidate does not win, all right, I want you to accept it. I want you to put it behind you. You can sit there and dwell on it like a child, or you can accept it as an adult and say, okay, this person won. What can we do as a people to see that that individual is successful, that our country comes together, that we unite? You understand? If your candidate wins and, you want to go out there and start making fun of other people who voted the other way, well, then you're a loser. You understand? You're a loser. You're again, causing strife and division. We need to unite. We need to come together as a people. If we allow their agenda to succeed, their agenda, very simple, divide and conquer. And that's exactly what they have done here. We are very divided. It's just been epic under the last 2 presidents. But we need to come together, people. We really, really do. So, again, whoever wins here, let's come together here. Let's not act like children. Let's put this behind us. Let's think of what we can do. All right? And I'm counting on you to do this. We're going to unite. This channel here, we must come together. We're all part of the same team. We're all part of the same human race. Let's have some dignity here, some decency to each other. Enough is enough. I want this election to be over, and I really don't even care who wins. I want us to unite. Period. The end. You got it? All right, people, look, today is the 1st. You know how this works. The 1st of every month, I ask you humbly to support my work. If you think I'm doing a good job, Greg's a good guy and he deserves my support, well, you know what? I would really appreciate your support. There is a link in the description of this video. You can click on that and you can support my work. I always suggest, how about just $5? $5 for Greg, because Greg's a good guy and he's doing a good job. Anyway, that's it for today, people. This guy here loves you a lot. I will see you in the morning. Think about what I talked about in this video, and I hope it makes sense to you. See you tomorrow.